think that jet fuel brought down the World Trade Center?
I'll tell you a couple of stories about fraud. The Bohemian Club, as you say, the Bohemian Club? That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right? I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
I know nothing about the Bohemian Grove with Bill. I know about once a month Hillary would go out to Los Angeles. And she did it so regular that it became a bit of an issue trying to, why is she always going? Bill told me that she was going out there, she and a group of women, and she would be a part of a witch's church. And, man, when Bill told me that, you could have hit me with a baseball bat. I tried to point out to him. He realized what had happened if that got out. And of course, my job is to make sure it didn't get out. Now, I don't know today if Hillary still partakes in the witch ritual. I don't know that I even know what the ritual was. But for the better part of many years, Hillary would go quite often, whether it was regularly once a month or maybe once every couple of months. She would go out on a weekend simply to be a part of it.
All right, that was about a year ago, and we went up there. We don't just believe people, and I've known Larry 20 years at that time. We saw his medication, saw his diagnosis, the whole 9 yards. I gave him a donation then. And we went up there to interview him because of the cancer, and it's progressed. He's just trying to stay alive through the campaign to expose these people. That's why I can't be on TV today. We've been up there. He's had heart surgery, you name it. I'm not going to get into all of it. He was in the hospital today. He's had his lungs collapse. He's been resuscitated. He doesn't want me to say this on air, but then he tells me he's about to, be out in the street. So I'm just going to tell you so he gets donations. NicholsLive@AOL.com, PayPal. Send the guy some money. He needs good treatment. He's been blackballed in Arkansas, everything since he's exposed to Clintons. He's a great patriot. He's the real deal. NicholsLive@AOL.com. Give him a donation. He didn't even ask him for this, but he don't want me to talk about the illness, but I'm not going to sit there and just say send him a donation when the guy can't even get his treatment to keep him alive. It's very expensive, as you know. Larry Nichols, 58 Kingston Drive, Conway, Arkansas, 72034. Now, Larry, folks need to make that donation. You told me 20 years ago she was into witchcraft. You even told me about the handler, who now has been the National Enquirer confirmed doing stuff for him.
Right.
I separately, you didn't even know about this, it actually been in an L.A. liberal newspaper, because Tex Mars had a copy of it. I was in his archives making my Bohemian Grove film 15 years ago, and I got a copy of her actually there. And this isn't just normal, New Age stuff or whatever. We're not talking about crystals or whatever. A lot of nice folks are into all that stuff, better than a lot of these mainline church people I know. This was Aleister Crowley stuff. Now, you don't know about this, but I've studied it, so I looked at what it was. Well, it came out in the WikiLeaks that this high priestess of this stuff, who admits in her own writing she does it, blood, you name it, they take kids to these parties, whether they're really killing people or not. It's so horrific to show it all. She's come out and said, oh, it's all just a big joke. I'm not serious. I'm not a Satanist, but her email address is 666 at the end. And all this is going on. We know Pedophile Island's real, Jeffrey Epstein. We know Clinton. Bill went there 20-something times. We know that the law enforcement is saying they're going to have a press conference. He's sexting, wiener underage girls. We know that Bill Clinton went and practiced voodoo. That's in the Washington Post, his own book he wrote. We know these people are into the occult, but you knew them back when this was happening. So it's a very important facet. Now, I don't know about all this code word and kids and all the Reddit and big internet sites out there saying, Alex, why aren't you saying all this is code word for them? Well, they say, well, I'll have entertainment, 3 little kids in the hot tub for you at the farmhouse, and we've got all the wieners you want, and there's a lot of pressure on us to get rid of this load of $20,000, dolls for you. I mean, it sounds really bad, but I don't know what it is. What do you, as somebody that's been around these people, what the hell's going on?
Alex, all I can tell you is, man, finally I had to go to Hillary. I literally had to go to her to try to get her to stop.
I went to her. I said, Hillary, if we get caught when you go into this witch's church, we're done. I mean, this is the early 80s, late 70s, whatever kind it was. And I said, there's no way we can cover it up. But I said, she said, there's no way she's going to go. I said, well, then do this. I knew Channel 11's crew, local TV station in Little Rock. I said, look, you go to the Methodist church every Sunday. I'm going to set up a crew, get you coming out of the church. Now it's just happened, just like I'm going to tell you.
No, you told me 20 years ago. You told me 20 years ago.
Yeah, you're going to come out of the church, and then you're going to talk about how happy you were to be in church and how and profess Jesus Christ and God and all that. She turned away from me, folks. She turned away. But before she took a step, she turned her head back to the left, and she said, you know I can't do that, and turned her head back around and walked away. Now, my problem is I don't know about the occult. I don't understand that junk. Bill
She's pledged herself. What else did Bill tell you? What else have you not told people?
Well, Bill would tell me about, he liked to deal with the voodoo junk. I said, voodoo? He said, well, it wasn't about that. It was about the dope. He said, man, they do all kinds of neat drugs, psychedelic drugs. So I don't know that his voodoo experience had that much to do with it being, a religion, as it did for him to be able to have, psychedelic drugs. Now, I just got a text, Alex, just got it. It's from the senior FBI guy. Remember, there were 5 that told me what was going on. Well, this morning, they're listening to us now, and he just sent me a text. 2 of the 5 received memos this morning stating that due to budgetary adjustments, they were going to be forced to take early retirement, and the 3rd of the 3 is to turn in his letter of resignation Monday. So there you go. There you go.
They're cooing out the final good men and women as we speak. Now, again, Bill Clinton's in the Washington Post and his own book saying he loves voodoo. I mean, this is how disconnected it, how hardcore this is. And then you've got Hillary involved in all this, and then we find out it's the most hardcore Aleister Crowley crap there is. And then you're trying to get her to go. Listen, it was in mainstream news, Washington Post as well, that she does these seances for the dead, and liberals will be there. Well, if you can call up the dead, Hillary, she's just getting them roped in. That's the first level of the occult. Can we talk to Jesus? And she says, that's the one person we don't talk to.
Yeah, she said, I can't. I can't do that.
But you told me that 20 years ago. Then a decade ago, the Washington Post asked, they were like, oh, she does seances. Who would she talk to? Well, not Jesus. She'd let you talk to anybody but Jesus. What is that? I mean, this lady is a veritable devil.
Alex, it goes back to what I've told you since the day that you and I met. Bill's a good timer, folks. That's all he is. He's an inch deep, mile wide. Hillary is cold-blooded. And I go back to the Benghazi hearings when she was talking about 4 dead Americans, and she threw her hands up and said,
what difference does it make? Yeah.
Now, that's the heart of as cold a human being as you're ever going to find. Not to mention when a person she had a 10-year affair with, Vince Foster, when she's in California, hears he's dead, that he died. She gets on a plane, but instead of coming back to Washington, I've got the Central Flying Service record. She lands in Little Rock, goes to their office at the Rose Law Firm, ransacks his office, gets everything boxed up that has Hillary and Vince on it, and tells them to burn it.
Wow.
You talk about cold, buddy. That's cold.
Well, I got to say, 20 years. We've been talking 20 years. You are dead on, and we appreciate you, Larry. Please come back on tomorrow during the 52-hour broadcast. Kicks off at 11 a.m.
Let me tell you one thing, Alex. Everybody's got to do this now. All of this stuff looks bad. But folks, you better get out and vote. And I'll say this to you, and this is going to sound terrible, but I want to say it to every white American conservative. You better get out and vote, because it's going to be your last chance.
And again, it's not racially based. The media has made it racially based.
That's right. And I have no choice but to tell the truth about it, Alex. I don't like it in the black conservatives.
Well, Larry, we know what's going on in Arkansas and the whole background on the Clintons, and that they're race-based. They've just flipped the other way. I just want everybody to live in peace, but it is racially based. It's very sad. But the people voting racially are going to be screwed over. God bless you. Tomorrow, Larry, let's talk. Let's set you up now for tomorrow. 50 2-hour broadcast kicks off at 11 a.m. Central, Infowars.com/show. Be part of the revolution against tyranny. Spread that link. Now, Facebook mentions it's still streaming. I'm going to go hit the boys' room, take a break, and walk in there and broadcast for hours more out of my office because wild horses can't drag me away. Fabulous job to the crew. God bless you. I want to see 10 million viewers tune in over the 50-plus hours, and that's where you come in. You are the heart and blood of the InfoWar. If you spread the link to Infowars.com/show and point out that this is the alternative new media, this is the rebellion, then all of you are riding right beside us, not behind us. So spread the word, my Paul Reveres, no matter where you live in the world. To information warfare arms, the globalists are coming, and they will be met on the field.